my name is Rolo Wexford, and I only tell the truth. Today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. You're not an orc. I can make that blanket statement with complete confidence for two reasons. One, in this reality, so far only humans watch my videos. Two, you're not evil. Orcs are evil. Somehow recently this has become a race issue. And while I'm not inclined to tell anybody to stop fighting for what they see as equality or social justice, for me this points to a much more problematic issue. I keep seeing the claim that orcs, drow, and other fantasy races are analogs for people of color in role-playing games. Let me give you a piece of advice. If that describes the game you're playing, stop that shit right now. Black people and other people of color already belong to a race in fantasy games. The human one. I'm not arguing that there isn't a need for better representation in fantasy gaming. There is. But I don't believe that any human being should be relegated to a race of evil fantasy creatures that were evil stretching all the way back to the oral tradition. They represent things in our psyche and in our storytelling cultures that aren't covered by the scope of normal human evil. Evil races should be evil. Think about that. Think about something evil. Think about something that is so terrible that a good person would rather die than participate in it. If you're picturing something that human beings do on the regular, then you need to recalibrate your imagination. Evil humans, truly evil humans of any race, color, wherever they are in the gender or sexuality spectrum, are rare. And that's a good thing. I even see a bit of hope in the fact that we have to have this conversation. It means that real evil, true personal evil, is so far removed from us that we have a hard time, picturing an entire race of beings who only hate and never love even each other. Or, a race who's appalled by the idea of charity. I hope that doesn't sound too familiar. It's hard for me to picture an entire race of beings who promote the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie as a piece of, true, legitimate cinema. Picture those things. It should make you sick to really imagine a society that holds those values over the ones that most of us do. We love freedom. We love allowing people to succeed, right? An evil race doesn't do that because they're evil. I'm proud that this discussion is being held in tabletop role-playing game communities. To me, that means that gaming has taught us that cultural relativism is a good thing, and we don't like to think of an entire race of people as being evil. So all this vitriol over fantasy races is coming from a good place in our hearts. Now, just give your imagination a little bit of room to do its thing. If the idea of an evil god who creates evil beings is too much for you, try to imagine what would cause a race to evolve as evil, the same way that the heroic races evolved to be basically good. It's a lot harder. Or if that doesn't work for you, and you absolutely need orcs to be more interesting and morally complex, you know why. Fine, then run with it. I want to see Irish orcs and African orcs with nuance to their culture that makes each distinct and beautiful in its own way. I want to see Spanish orcs who believe that they're doing Groomsh's work as they sail to South America and subjugate other orcs for their gold and to expand their territory under the will of their god. Most of all, I want to see those orcs band together with their rival humans, dwarves, and elves against a truly evil foe, a race of sentient energy beings who enslave worlds for fun, or a race of, monstrous locusts who are intent on binge-eating the planet. Because I think it's useful to think about what evil really looks like, how evil would really manifest in a world of sentient beings. I also think it's good to know that best practices when confronted with real evil is to drop all your petty differences and band together with people who may be unlike you, but still basically good at heart. Unasked and unpaid, I endorse Dungeons & Dragons, partially because of its alignment system and the directions it's pointed my brain over the years. If there's a failing here, I believe it's one of imagination and not morality. Good exists. Define it and be it. Evil exists. Define it and fight it. And stop comparing people of color to evil fantasy races. It's offensive to human beings. It also shows a lack of imagination. Good night and good luck.